my name is Matt Maltese, and today I will be starting off with part one, which is self-disclosure online and offline and how that impacts relationship development. So after reviewing the self-disclosure worksheet, I have come up with results as to face-to-face interaction and online interaction, so I'll just briefly review my results. As far as face-to-face interaction with a stranger, I've put 1 for each column: religious beliefs, personal finances, my past intimate relationships, my doubts about myself, political beliefs, hopes and fears, levels of satisfaction, and feelings about others. Each is a 1 for strangers. Coworker / classmate, religious beliefs 1, personal finances 2, my past intimate relationships 1, my doubts about myself 1, political beliefs 1, hopes and fears 1, level of satisfaction 1, and feelings about others 3. Friends, religious beliefs 3, personal finances 3, my past intimate relationships 4, my doubts about myself 2, political beliefs 2, hopes and fears 1, level of satisfaction 5, and feelings about others 4. Family members, intimate partners. We'll do intimate partners first. Religious beliefs 5, personal finances 5, my past intimate relationships 3, my doubts about myself 4, political beliefs 4, hopes and fears 4, level of satisfaction 5, feelings about others 4. Now family members, religious beliefs 5, personal finances 5, my past intimate relationships 2, my doubts about myself 4, political beliefs 5, hopes and fears 5, level of satisfaction 4, feelings about others 4. Now online interaction. First one was face to face. This is online. So religious beliefs for strangers is 1, personal finances 1, my past intimate relationships 1, doubts about myself 1, political beliefs 1, hopes and fears 1, level of satisfaction 1, and feelings about others 2. So all 1s for strangers, online interaction, other than feelings about others, which is a 2. Now, coworker, classmate, online interaction, religious beliefs 1, personal finances 1, my past intimate relationships 1, doubts about myself 1, political beliefs 1, hopes and fears 1, level of satisfaction 2, and feelings about others 2. Friends, religious beliefs 1, personal finances 1, my past intimate relationships 4, doubts about myself 2, political beliefs 2, hopes and fears 1, level of satisfaction 3, feelings about others 3. Now, intimate partners, religious beliefs 3, personal finances 2, my past intimate relationships 4, doubts about myself 4, political beliefs 2, hopes and fears 3, level of satisfaction 5, and feelings about others 4. Finally, family members online, religious beliefs 3, personal finances 2, my past intimate relationships 2, doubts about myself 3, political beliefs 3, hopes and fears 4, level of satisfaction 4, and feelings about others 4. So as you can see from the results, kind of analyzing my results here, many of the face-to-face interactions have a higher number for me personally. This is probably just because I'm more comfortable with disclosing information about myself to people that I've met actually face-to-face as opposed to people I only know online. So that is the main reason why the face-to-face numbers are a lot higher as far as disclosing personal information as opposed to what it would be for people that I only know strictly online. Moving on now, my self-disclosure score was 30. After taking the test, it came out to be 30. This kind of shows that I am kind of more to myself, don't really say much when, as far as stuff that's going on in my life, but I definitely do at the same time still still disclose enough information when, in my opinion, when the time is right and necessary. So moving on now, self-disclosure, uncertainty reduction, and social penetration, and how these three things act and feel different in online relationships. For me, I think they're very different when it comes to online relationships, because obviously with uncertainty reduction, that's when people have a need to reduce uncertainty about themselves by gaining information about them. So when you're talking about uncertainty reduction when it comes to online relationships, it's so easy to just kind of stalk somebody's Instagram account or look at their like tweets, or kind of just look at their interests on social media, because it's so easy to do. You can just easily go on their page and see what they're liking, retweeting, talking to, who their friends are, so on and so forth. So that's, way different in online relationships. It's easier to gain more information about a person online than it is, in a face-to-face relationship. So that's uncertainty reduction. Self-disclosure, we kind of just talked about earlier. I felt like my scores were a lot higher, obviously, for face-to-face interaction with self-disclosure than it would be online, because I know the people more, when it comes to face-to-face, meeting them face-to-face. And now, last one, social penetration, which is the idea that as relationships develop, interpersonal communication moves from relatively shallow, non-intimate levels to deeper, more intimate ones. So this definitely is affected by online relationships as well, because once you start to get to know, I know for me personally, a real example for me is I've met a lot of people online, friends or even intimate partners, strictly online. We met, and then our relationship slowly became to a face-to-face relationship. So that obviously has an effect. It sometimes can start a relationship can sometimes start as an online one, strictly online one, but as you continue to talk, continue to interact with each other, I think it can definitely go to a face-to-face relationship. Finally, the norm of reciprocity. Are there different expectations in terms of self-disclosure online versus offline? I believe there are. Self-disclosure online, you won't see a lot of people disclose themselves online to people they haven't met before, just because they don't know, their background, they don't know the type of person they are, they don't know what their personality is. Like there's a lot of things that we don't know, about people if we just know them online. But if we have an offline relationship, we're more likely to self-disclose ourselves a little bit more as far as personal relationships go, because we have that idea and sense of who that person is, and we have that sense of comfortability with that person as well. We can become a lot more comfortable if we know the people and we have met them face to face, and if we know them personally as opposed to knowing them online. Okay, so part two, considering the unique aspects of online relationship development. And this has to do with KNAP's relationship development model. The relationship model here for KNAP is there's 5 different steps for coming together and coming apart. So the 5 steps of coming together are bonding, integrating, intensifying, experimenting, and initiating. 5 steps of coming apart is differentiating, circumscribing, stagnation, avoiding, and termination. So the question is, how might some of the development and dissolution stages be different online as opposed to face-to-face, or even a combination online/offline relationship? Why? So I think some of these steps can be way different as far as face-to-face communication and online communication. For example, we'll start with the coming together. As far as bonding goes, it could be way different, just because bonding with someone online means you're just talking, texting, not really hanging out. But if you bond with someone face to face, that means you're going to different places, doing different activities, stuff like that. So that's way different. And also, initiating is a lot different, I think, of coming together as well, just because you can initiate a conversation, when you're face to face interacting with someone, but initiating when it comes to online relationships can mean just sending someone a text or a signal, so that could be way different as well. As far as the coming apart stage goes, there's a few that are definitely different as far as online and offline interaction goes. First one that's definitely different is avoiding. It's a lot easier to avoid someone face to face than it is online, just because when it comes to avoiding someone face to face, you can just not go to where they're at. But avoiding someone online, that person can always text you or just try to get information from another friend about you, stuff like that. So it's a lot harder to avoid someone when it comes to online interaction. Also, differentiating is another huge difference when it comes to online and offline interaction. You can differentiate with someone and you can tell right away when you're face to face communicating with them, just because you could tell if you guys have similar personalities or not. You could tell if they have the same likes and dislikes as you do, but it's a lot harder to tell that when you're doing it online, when you're having an online interaction, just because you have never met the person face to face yet, and you don't know how they truly are in person. So it's a lot harder to do it online when it comes to telling and seeing if you differentiate, if you're different from the person you're interacting with. So it's a lot harder to tell the differentiating stage, and it's a lot different online as opposed to offline communication. Okay, and finally, part three, which is online relationships, one-to-one versus one-to-many. I definitely consider a one-to-one online relationship different than a one-to-many online relationship, such as like a group chat or a Facebook group or something like that. That's a lot different than a one-to-one texting or Snapchat streak relationship, just because when you're doing a one-to-one relationship, as far as meeting someone online or just interacting with someone online as a one-to-one relationship, it's more likely that you know that person very well, or that you're getting to know that person very well. But if you're in a Facebook group chat, or just in a fan group chat, a sports fan group chat, something like that on Facebook, then you don't know a lot of those people, so you're kind of prone to not disclose as much information about yourself as you would to a one-to-one relationship. And my identity, I talked about that as well, as far as imaginary audiences and real audiences and intended audiences that can relate to a one-to-many relationship as far as online goes. And personal privacy online, I talked a lot about protecting myself from not interacting with anyone that I do not know, or keeping my account protected from kind of suspicious accounts on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it may be, just blocking them, stuff like that. So as far as all that goes, I definitely think one-to-one online relationships is a lot different than relationships developed as part of an online group. Just like I said, just because chances are, if you're interacting with someone on a one-to-one relationship, chances are that you do know them personally or are getting to know them. And if you're doing a one-to-many online interaction, then you may not know all those people, so you're not going to disclose as much information as you would in a one-to-one relationship.